Hey folks, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you very much for joining me here today. We're going to take a look at VTHO, which is an excellent coin. I really appreciate this one a lot. I have a fantastic community built around it. So thank you all for recommending that I cover this again. Now what we're going to do is just look at the technical analysis, no fundamentals here, and just note that I am not a financial advisor. I recommend you always do your own research, and this is for educational purposes only. Furthermore, if you're interested in $25 in free Bitcoin from Voyager, feel free to reference the link below, and also join our Telegram community because we have a fantastic group of people there. We can all learn and grow together. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and take a look at it now. Let's get to it. All right, folks, let's go ahead and take a look at VTHO. So let's go ahead and gander at that. And before we do, we'll just go ahead and quickly take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum to kind of get perspective on how the market's doing over there, because a lot of these coins that I cover are directly impacted by one or the other. So Bitcoin, something to note here. The thing I like to identify is the fact that the 50-day moving average worked as a strong support level. It was tested 3 times here and another twice there, and it was rejected every single time. So it's a really strong support level, as well as the 53,000 from before. That was tested multiple times in the past. So it blew up past that, recovered, shot right past the 100-day moving average, and as we can see, was tested on the 200-day moving average, which was a support level of 57,000, and then dropped down, came back up, closed a solid green bar, and kept on moving. So we're in pretty good shape here with Bitcoin. It looks like all of our other coins are going to start to increase in value. Ethereum, also very similar here. I'd like to point out the fact that Ethereum was not impacted as much as you'd like to think from the Bitcoin sell-off, much like other altcoins, because if you look at this here, you'll see the major sell-off there, and then you can see the price come back up, sell-off, and back up. But all 3 times that Bitcoin sold off, the price actually got higher on Ethereum, and the main reason why is because when people sell off Bitcoin, Bitcoin price comes down, people jump ship and go over to Ethereum, and the price comes up for Ethereum. So that's what we're seeing here. Really strong increase as well, and it's hit its all-time high today, about 2,841, about 2841. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at VTHO. Let me just quickly remove this price line here, and we'll start with the 1-day chart, work our way down. So for those fortunate few that got in around 0.0004, kudos, congrats. I bet you're quite happy right now because the price has gone up significantly. But looking at the prices here overall, let's see what we can identify. So first of all, RSI is in good shape, neither oversold or overbought. Appears we might be in a consolidation phase based on the lower volume. And also when it comes to the MACD, kind of almost drawing dead right now. It's just almost shooting a straight line essentially. So I wouldn't expect much from those, but that's kind of just generally telling us that there's no bullish, no bearish momentum. It's likely in consolidation. One's also kind of nice to notice too is the 50-day moving average is working as a support level right now. So it should hopefully continue to progress the price upwards. Keep in mind, this was the Bitcoin sell-off right here, I believe, or was it the 25th? Hold on, I'm sorry, I might get my dates wrong. Okay, both, yeah, 22nd and 25th. So first Bitcoin sell-off, second Bitcoin sell-off, VTHO came up with a vengeance. It ramped right back up. So that's a great sign. Tells me that this currency isn't essentially only contingent on how well Bitcoin does. It can likely kind of move on its own, if you will, and that's a good sign. So that being said, that's kind of what we're looking at for the 1-day chart. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour now. 4-hour chart, same scenario for RSI and MACD, no difference there. All the moving averages are kind of working themselves into a tight channel. So what that means is that's going to create a very strong support or resistance level right where the price is at. So once the price decides to break above or below, it'll likely hold in that general direction moving forward. Okay, so there's no way to really truly anticipate where it's going to go because we got the 100 and the 50-day moving average right below and the 200-day moving average right above. So honestly, it really could go any way. So what we probably want to do next is take a look at some support and resistance levels and just kind of see, base our entry point on getting confirmation on either of those 2 levels. We can maybe quickly identify that right now without going to the 15. So let's go ahead and take a look at some support levels. Obviously, we got a pretty strong support around just say round up and say 0.014. Curious if it was tested before. Yeah, it was. Okay, good, even better. So this line here is a support level. And looking at potential resistance, obviously we got these three up here. Let's go ahead and mark that. And we do have this here, of course, that was tested twice. So this could be a new potential resistance level here as well. It'd make more sense for this to be resistance because it was tested once and rejected. So just bear in mind this price level up here at 0.027 will likely not be tested for a while, so we could probably just avoid that for now. Right now we want to focus in the channel of right around from what, 0.014 to 0.021, and it's literally right in the middle of that channel. So those would be the two things you'd want to kind of focus on. So if we do see the price come back up and test this level and reject and come back down, then we'd want to kind of identify where the price action is out in the 15 and 1 minute chart. Again, this is a 4 hour chart, of course, but generally speaking, the more times a resistance level is tested, the more likely it's going to be broken. Okay, and then once it breaks, the stronger it becomes as a support level. Okay, so that being said, this could continue to be tested a few more times, at least I'm hoping so the price can jump up into this category here, and we can see a breakout, but we won't really know yet. But let's go ahead and take a look at the 15 and see if there's any price action we want to be mindful of. And just to note, not a lot of breakouts on the RSI. It's been respecting the 30 to 70 range. As you can see, there was a breakout up here. And just to note here as well, do you see the difference, the variance from the VWAP to the price action and how high that is? I always like to point this out because if you're somebody that uses the volume weighted average price, it's probably one of your best friends, and it can be used here effectively. So if you see that it's over 15% for that difference in price from the volume weighted average price, well, that's a good indicator to tell us that the price is likely going to become corrected. So if you see down below here, the RSI is overextended. This first one should have been a warning sign, but the second one is definitely letting us know that the price is overbought. So it was overbought too much at this price, and it comes falling back down. So it crashed down initially, tried to push up and got rejected. So you could say that the bulls lost momentum and the bears took over, and the price came down. Eventually, it corrected itself and came way back down. So there's something to note. I like to point that out because the volume weighted average price is something that's it's good to be aware of and how impactful it is, because it's a constant average based on the volume within the last 24 hours. So it kind of tells you what the average price is at that time based on the last 24 hours. So it's a really good indicator to tell us if the price is overextended, and combining that on the 15-minute chart with the RSI that's over 70, it's almost always a win-win. It's going to come back down unless it's on like a bullish tear and it just keeps making higher highs and higher highs. Those things happen a lot and you can't control that, but if it's kind of a normal price action like we've been seeing with VTHO, be mindful of that. If we see that again, it could come back down. It would be a good indication to try to get out, sell, and take your profits and find a lower entry point, or just average down essentially. So that's what we're looking at there. We can look at the 1 minute chart, but I don't really think there's going to be much to see here. The price is testing the VWAP right now, and it does look like it might try to break above. So it could mean that the price is trying to continue bullishly, but really not much to understand with this chart here, because these moving averages aren't really all that relevant at this time frame, and the VWAP is essentially the best indicator for you on the 1 minute chart. But the way that it's moving right now, I would wait for one of the support or resistance levels to be tested first before I consider taking entry. So for example, on the 15-minute chart, The price is right in the middle almost. It's at like 0.018, in between 0.014 and 0.021. So it's pretty much smack dab in the middle. So I would wait for the price to break up or break down and kind of figure out if it wants to break this channel. Because if we look at this 4-hour chart, you'll see all the price. Look at that. All these moving averages are converging right in the same exact spot. So until we see a break up or break down above or below these moving averages on the 4-hour chart, I wouldn't really bother with an entry unless you're trying to average down and you have a higher price up here. But I would still consider waiting, because there is a likelihood it could come down and test this support level. And if it does, ultimately we'd want to see the price come down to 0.014, get rejected and come back up. And at that point, if you see confirmation on this price level here at 0.014, take entry, add to your position maybe 25 to 30%, and keep averaging down as you get closer to your goal. And again, always set a goal if you can. If you're doing a short-term swing trade, just say in a 24-hour period, shoot for somewhere in the range of 5 to 10%. With this kind of price action, I think it's realistic to do that. Now, when it comes to a scalp or something that's kind of really, really small, like a day trade that's less than an hour, then you might want to shoot for 1 to 3%. Just wait for confirmation off the support level of 0.014 first, and or wait for it to come and break above 0.021 and to hold there for at least 2 15-minute green bars. But if you find this beneficial, please let me know in the comments below, and of course consider subscribing if you haven't already. I want to thank you so much for joining me here today, and we'll take another look at VTHO again soon. Hopefully when the price is higher after it's lowered and we've averaged down our price a little bit. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for your time. We'll see ya.